North Carolina Vietnam Veterans Incorporated. We have been conducting this ceremony since 1987. First Saturday of every month. Rain, shine, hurricane, doesn't matter, we're still here. We do it to honor our brothers who've never returned home. I want to welcome a lot of people here today. This is a great turnout, but it's my first time on the mic, so please forgive me if I screw up really, really bad. We're going to have, we have the honor today to have Rolling Thunder, North Carolina, several chapters post the colors for us. Post the colors. Ready, two. Ready? Two. Glenn, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Opposite arms. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ready? Two. Retire the colors. Ready? Two. Thank you, Rolling Thunder. The North Carolina Vietnam Veteran Memorial, the last firefight, was dedicated in May of 1987 by the North Carolina Vietnam Memorial Committee. Since that time, North Carolina Vietnam Veterans Incorporated, along with guest organizations, have held these ceremonies at 12 noon on the first Saturday of every month, as well as special occasions. North Carolina Vietnam Veterans Incorporated is committed to holding these sacred ceremonies until there is a full accounting of our fellow North Carolinians who are still unaccounted for as a direct result of the war in Southeast Asia. When our imprisoned comrades returned from Southeast Asia in 1973, it was evident that not all our known or missing were returned. There have been many facts and misfacts disseminated to the public and to the POW-MIA families since that time. Which are truths, which are lies, we may never know. What we do know is that since World War II, in any conflict involving the communists, not all of our missing comrades in arms have been returned or accounted for. After World War II, 73,600 MIAs were unaccounted for. After the Korean War, 7,900 MIAs were unaccounted for. 121 of these unaccounted were North Carolinians. After the war in Vietnam, there was 1,640 plus of our brothers unaccounted for. And this number, there are 39 from North Carolina unaccounted for as a result of this war in Southeast Asia.
The following men are still listed as unaccounted for as a result of the war in Southeast Asia. Robert Douglas Avery, Morganton, United States Marine Corps. Joseph N. Hargrove, Mount Olive, United States Marine Corps. Wayne Vaster Wilson, Thomasville, United States Marine Corps. Harry John Belknap, Jonas Ridge, United States Navy. Eric Parker Bryce, Rocky Mount, United States Navy.
Frederick Lewis Chrisman, Salisbury, United States Army. Robert Lee Curley Jr., Monroe, United States Army. Harold Lee Harris, Durham, United States Army. Luther Harris Howard, Hamlin, United States Army. Larry Carl Jamerson, Rossman, United States Army.
William Carl Sutton, Goldsboro, United States Air Force. John Hunter Cruz III, Asheville, United States Air Force. Edgar Felton Davis, Goldsboro, United States Air Force. Robin Frederick Gatwood Jr., Hickory, United States Air Force. Connie Mac Gravite, Calvel, United States Air Force.
Frederick Bourbon Hall, Waynesville, United States Air Force. Carter Avery Howell of Fayetteville, United States Air Force. John Lewis McDaniel, Gibsonville, United States Air Force. Philip Rogerson Wellens, Raleigh, United States Air Force. Andrew Johnson Craven, Wilmington, United States Army.
Edward Dean Brown Jr., Charlotte, United States Navy. Franklin Harley Kenneth Jr., Concord, United States Navy. Hall Edwin Gore, Faison, United States Navy. Litchfield Patterson Huey, Warsaw, United States Navy. Larry Gene Lewis, Asheville, United States Navy. Walter Sutton Wood, Fort Bragg, United States Navy.
Murray Lyman Borden, Goldsboro, United States Air Force. Fred Lee Clark, Troutman, United States Air Force. Glenn Richard Cook, Charlotte, United States Air Force. Edwin David Palmgren, Winston-Salem, United States Air Force.
William Darrell Johnson, Rocky Mount, United States Army. Charlie Gray Lewis, Fayetteville, United States Army. James Martin Luttrell, Fayetteville, United States Army. Jerry Lawrence Moore, Cleveland, United States Army. Melvin Lee Weeks, Concord, United States Army.
Larry Kane Goro, Lowell, United States Army. Dennis William O'Melia, Smithfield, United States Army. Robert Milton Staton Jr., Jamesville, United States Army. Jimmy Lee Watson, Kama, United States Army.
This time, I'd like to
Which on?
I don't know about this machinery. This time we'd like Lou Ann, representing the Rolling Thunder chapters, to read the missing man table.
You may have noticed a special table. It's reserved to honor our missing men. The empty chair represents Americans who were or are missing from each of the services: Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Merchant Marine, and civilians. All are with us in spirit. Some here were very young or not yet born when the Vietnam War began. However, all Americans should never forget the brave men and women who answered our nation's call and served the cause of freedom in a special way. Let me explain the meaning of this special table, and then join me for a moment of silence and prayer at the end. The table is round to show our everlasting concern. The cloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to serve. The single red rose reminds us of the lives of these Americans and their loved ones and friends who keep the faith while seeking answers. The red ribbon symbolizes our continued determination to account for them. A slice of lemon reminds us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt symbolizes the tears of our missing and their families who long for answers after decades of uncertainty. The lighted candle reflects our hope for their return, alive or dead. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith in our country, founded as one nation under God, to sustain those lost from our midst. The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share in today's toast. The chair is empty. They are missing. Let us now pause in a silent prayer to honor America's POW MIAs and to the success of our efforts to account for them, and to the safety of all now serving our nation. Thank you.
We have the honor today, besides the other groups that represent here every month, the reunion of Armed Forces Vietnam Network. They have a special presentation they'd like to make. I'd like to call Dick Ellis to come up to take over.
One, two, three. It's working. Thank you. I've spoken on too many of these things. Thank you for being with us. We represent the American Forces Vietnam Network. We were in Vietnam to inform and to entertain the men and women of our armed forces. At this time, we would ask the privilege of laying a wreath on our North Carolina Vietnam Veterans Memorial in honor of all the men and women who served with the American Forces Vietnam Network. Secondly, for all the men and women who served in Vietnam. Can we bring the wreath forward? You guys get it? Yeah.
Mike,
Mike?
you want to do it? Because you're part of the group.
Sure. You want to place it? Okay.
The memorial.
Many times we were called rear echelon troops, but we had TV and radio stations all over Vietnam. One of our stations was located in Hue. During the Tet Offensive of 1968, our boys in the TV station, engineers, cameramen, announcers, radio disc jockeys, fought off the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese for 4.5 days until they ran out of ammunition and were overrun. Several were killed, several were taken prisoner of war. We are honored to have television engineer Harry Etmuller with us, prisoner of war, North Vietnam, Hanoi, 5 years. Sergeant Etmuller. You want to say anything?
Well, we ended up going north. Basically, we took the fight north, but nobody followed behind us, so we stayed a little bit longer than we figured. We all had a job to do, regardless of what your MOS or AFSC or whatever it was in whatever branch of the service you were. But I'm really honored to be here today.
Turn that mic up there, Dave.
Silver Star, 2 Bronze Stars, 3 Purple Hearts. U.S. Army Sergeant Harry Etmuller. We would like to present to this chapter also every 3 months the state of North Carolina changes the flags on top of our Capitol. The American flag, the North Carolina state flag, and our POW flag. I'm the marshal of the Court of Appeals right across the street. When I saw them taking them down, I called the governor's office and said, "Governor, can we have the flag, the POW flag?" They sent all 3 of them to my office. We are privileged at this time to present to your chapter on behalf of the American Forces Vietnam Network. It's a little tattered and torn. It's frayed. That's the reason they replaced it. But it means even more significance to us because our missing in action and our POWs were a little frayed and a little tattered and torn as well. This is a POW flag that flew over our state capitol for the last 3 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you have any more? We're going to close with a benediction unless you have some more, sir. Thank you, sir. I'd like Reverend Michael Cum to come forward, please. He is a Lutheran minister in South Dakota. We have people from South Dakota, Florida, Indiana, all around, almost every state. San Diego, California here, from all over, who are cameramen, engineers, disc jockeys, admin people for the American Network. Would you dismiss us, please, sir?